What's up, dudes? Today I'm going to be installing some gauges into my car. It's going to be oil pressure and water temperature gauge. And I'm going to show you guys, I guess, what's needed for you guys to hook it up into your LS. And basically how to hook it up. So yeah, let's get to it. This is my my two gauges. Got this one's oil pressure gauge from got this one at AutoZone. It was $27.99. It comes with fittings, 1/8 MPT fittings, and a nylon, I guess, little tubing thing to plug into the back of that, and the water temperature gauge from Autometer. Yeah, there's a part number right there. I got these two. Sick. Yeah, as you can tell in my, I guess, my other video, I previously installed the oil pressure gauge. I did that so that way I knew that my engine had oil pressure before I actually started it. So I previously installed it, so I'm just gonna basically show you guys what I did and all the stuff that's needed to basically install it into the LS. The first things you are going to need to do is basically locate the stock oil pressure sender, which is located behind the intake. It's where that brass adapter and the brass fittings, that's right there where you can see the nylon tubing coming out of. That's where you're gonna find this dude right here. You're basically gonna have to remove it, and you have to basically get a special tool for that one that will slip over this portion right here. You can see right there, it's a 1 inch 1/16 or 1 1/16. That's it right there. Do that. On this part, I guess once you remove this, you can basically you have two options. You could cut the plastic part right here and just drill and tap it to the 1/8 MPT, which is the fitting that comes with the gauge. You could drill and tap it. I didn't go that route because I don't have the tools to tap it to the 1/8 fitting. So I just went ahead and bought the adapter for it, which is like I think $12.99 or $11.99. You can see it right there. This is the part number for that. It is an Autometer 2268. It's a metric adapter. What you basically do is just take off the stock one, put that fitting in there. Make sure you put either nylon or I used RTV around that one. And just slide it in there. When you're tightening, don't over tighten it, because this thing is made out of brass, so it will snap in there and it'll make your life make your life a lot harder. Once you do that, you put the fitting that comes with the gauge, which is that one right there. First you put the fitting onto the nylon tube, put the crush sleeve on there, and you tighten the fitting onto that adapter, and should be good. Just route it into your firewall. I used an existing hole for I forgot what that was for, but yeah, this fitting right here has a little rubber boot, and I'm also running the wire that's needed from the water temperature sensor, or the sender, sensor. It's the sender, so you right out through there, so that way everything looks pretty much clean and not all crazy. Well, I guess for the oil pressure gauge, the only electrical thing you need to do to it is basically the lights. The white one you're gonna need the ignition power, and this is gonna be your ground, and that little nylon tubing that comes with the gauge basically connects to the fitting that's in the engine, the oil sender. This tubing goes to there and comes over here to the gauge, to the actual gauge, and that's how you wire the basic mechanical oil pressure gauge, and that's it. Alright guys, as for the coolant temperature sensor, where to place that at, basically you can touch the one that's on the driver's side, this one right here. Basically don't touch that one, that's the one that the ECU reads off of, so just leave that one alone. Where you could tap into it would be on the passenger side. Oh yeah, here it is. It's gonna be right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm sure put the camera in there, but it's basically behind the last coil pack, right underneath it. It's this hole right there. Hopefully you guys can see it. Yeah, it's right there, right behind the last bolt for the header, and underneath the last coil pack. I guess to place the sensor in there, you're gonna need another brass adapter for this one. This is for the coolant. For the coolant one, it's this little thing right here. The part number for this one, it's an autometer 2277. And for this part, I noticed too, I guess when I took all the stuff out from, I'm taking it out. Alright, I'm back. Hey! I'm just kidding. Well, I read the, I guess for this sensor, I read the reviews that saying that, I guess most people, I guess would bore the inside of it, because the sender that the gauge comes with is this big right here. See this big one right here? They're saying that they would bore out basically this part right here, in order to fit this sender in there, because as you can see, see if I can do it. See, as you can see right here, see, it doesn't even go in all the way, and look how it just enters right there. So they would bore it out, making the wall on this threaded part thinner. So what I did was I called Summit Racing and talked to one of the representatives, and they told me to get, basically they recommended this sender unit, which actually fits in there. I don't have to bore anything out. Alright, I think I forgot to mention this, but the part number for this one, this is 2259, so that way you guys are not freaking struggling and stuff like that. And yeah, there you go, a little bit, not too much. I don't want to overdo it. Oh shoot. Alright, let me switch you guys around so you guys can see what's going on. Alright, and I guess once you're done installing that, you're basically going to need, I think it's 18 gauge wire for this. That's what the manual recommended. It came with the gauge, and basically going to do this to the ends of it, put a little circle thing, and place it on in here. Alright, and as to, I guess, wiring the water temperature gauge, well, here, I have the instructions right here. It's fairly easy. There's only going to be a ground wire and a wire coming from the sender, which is that red wire with the little circle thing at the end that goes onto it. And it's going to be a 12-volt terminal, I guess, when the ignition switch is on. Fortunately, I don't have a battery. Choking up in here. I don't have a battery, I guess, to do all that stuff, but I'm actually going to connect it right now, so that way later on, when I just connect it, I just freaking connect it to the ignition power source, and most likely connect it to maybe the radio on that, or maybe to the actual dimmer on that side. I don't know if you could do that, but I'm trying to do that. But I already have the wires already hooked up. I mean, not hooked up, but I already had it pre-crimped. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Here, this one right here. Basically, the sender one goes here, and the ground wire goes up here, the one in the center, and this is the ignition 12-volt right here. And it's going to be basically the same thing for this too. The white one's going to be for ignition power, and it's going to be the ground. I'm basically going to maybe do a chassis ground for for all of them. I guess for the oil pressure gauge, I'm probably gonna do that one for the oil pressure gauge, and for this one separately from the radio, because I don't want to tie into that one and have it not work and have difficulties later on. So I'm gonna do that, but I already have the sender one right here, so hopefully you guys can see it. Disconnect it. I don't know, I was thinking putting maybe some heat shrink on that just in case, so that way they don't short out or anything. And here's my other, I guess my ignition power. Hopefully you guys can see this, man, because this would be my ground wire, black. I used one of my old, I guess my old KA harness for all these wires right here, so I don't have to spend that much money. I'm trying to keep this as cheap as possible, because yeah, it's probably the most expensive swap I've ever done. But I don't know. This swap actually showed me, taught me a bunch of things about wiring, because I've never done wiring before, so I actually have a better perspective of that. And also I wanted to show you guys, I guess, what I did with the steam ports, because that's the part that they say that on top of the cylinder head it collects steam or something like that. I don't know exactly what, but yeah, I'm gonna show you guys the steam ports right now. Alright guys, what I did for the steam ports is what I did. Oh my god, here we go. Alright, what I did with this was just grab I guess, I forgot what it was called, but I'll put the link in the description, I guess, on what part it is. I basically used the stock one that came with the LS. I think this is for the power steering cooler. I'm not sure, but it was basically two 90-degree hoses. So I basically used this one and this one, but I spliced it so that I could use. Well, actually, it was two fittings, so I just cut them a little bit so that way they fit. It's a 38 millimeter. I forgot what it was called, but yeah, and then with a 90-degree 1/8 MPT fitting, so that way it comes from the steam ports in here. Well, actually over here, from right here, and there's another one on this side. From here, they all come in. There's a hose. It comes to this hose, and right here, and this goes into the cooling system, and so that way, bleeding the system, it's that much easier, and you don't have to worry about having air pockets inside the coolant, which will cause, I guess, your engine to heat up. So, yeah. Alright guys, so that basically sums it up, I guess, for the gauges. Hopefully you guys, I guess, understood what I was saying, and all the things that's needed, I guess, to make the gauges work for your LS. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure you like and subscribe for future videos. And yeah, alright, cool. Peace out.